wanted to make my own podcast, but I was reluctant because I felt like I needed all these different tools and gadgets and microphones and computers just to make it happen. But then I heard about the Anchor app, and it made it so easy to make my own podcast. Plus, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from the palm of your hand with your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
What's happening, good people? Once again, back in the microphone. It's your chill brother from another. And y'all know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Playbook Podcast. Yo, I mean, after last week and everything that happened, you know, Mother's Day, again, special shout out to all those beautiful women out there holding it down for their kids, their loved ones, etc. But this week, you know, we got to talk about how much life is about, how you figure out your purpose in life. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in this podcast today. Also today, man, you know how we got to get down. Y'all know what to do. Follow the script and follow us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Anchor, and whatever you find your podcast platforms, man, as we continue to expand our horizons to meet and reach the masses where we bring the barbershop to your podcast, all right? So with the opening tip, y'all, we got to go around the NBA, around the association. We got Mr. Triple Double. My man, the Brody, is now the all-time leader in triple doubles in NBA history. Yo, y'all got to let me know where my man Russ is on the Mount Rushmore of NBA point guards. We're going to talk about that. Browning out. Jaylen Brown done for the year for Boston. Does that make him expendable? I talked to you about a conversation I had with my pop, and if this is a breakup in the making. Maybe. We'll see. Are the Knicks capable of a long playoff run? Potential matchups for one of the NBA's biggest surprises and the Defensive Player of the Year top 5 list for you. Also, we go around the NFL and move the chains as the return of Tebow. Tim Tebow. Tebow Mania returns to the NFL as the Jags sign Tebow as a tight end. What does that mean for free agents still on the market? Indy looking to reinvent Carson Wentz. How the Colts are trying to help Wentz win now. And the Pack put all their chips in on Aaron Rodgers. They give him a huge multi-level deal. But can they salvage the relationship? I don't know. We'll see. Also around college basketball, y'all, 5-star recruit Patrick Baldwin commits to Milwaukee. Milwaukee? And the early top 25 rankings as well. Listen, y'all, I got the trivia question of the day. Y'all know I'm going to bring the heat with the championship speech. So y'all go ahead, like always, buckle y'all seatbelts, get yourself together, get your popcorn, get your snacks. Oh, we're going to have fun today. This is the Playbook Podcast. Let's go. So what's really going on, my good people, man? It's your chill brother, Kyle Turner, back in the microphone again. Y'all follow your man, Mr. All About My Biz on IG. Y'all continue to share this on IG and Facebook, wherever your social media platforms is. Yo, we just trying to go ahead and keep on moving up like the Jeffersons each and every week. You hear me in the microphone. Listen, if you want to come on the show as well, leave your comment in the show notes as well, and we'll get you on the show. We'll go ahead and bust it up a little bit, and we'll have some fun. You know, I don't want to just be a one-man show. But listen, I can bring others on. I like to share the wealth. You know, that's something I would love to do. So listen, if you want to get on the show, go ahead, put your comments in the show notes, and I'll be sure to get back to you so we can get it on the air and we can kind of have some back and forth banter, all right? So listen, without further ado, no more fluff. Let's get right into the stuff, all right? It's this NBA. We go right into the opening tip. So with the opening tip, y'all know how we got the B-ball be bouncing around the association around this time. But this week, we had some history. As my man the Brody was able to become the all-time leader in NBA triple-doubles. Russell Westbrook, 182 and counting at that. As my man got the triple-double against the Atlanta Hawks the other night, man, listen, let me give you some stats from what Russell Westbrook has been doing over the last 7 games, all right? Over the last 7 games, Russell Westbrook is averaging 24.6 points per game, 14.1 rebounds a contest, and 18 assists. Over the last 7 games, y'all. The last 7 games. All right, here's a stat line. 34, 5, and 15. 28, 13, and 21. 33, 19, and 15. 13, 17, and 17. 29, 12, and 17. 14, 21, and 24. 21, 12, and 17. Yo, astronomical numbers from a pretty much astonishing player. I mean, seriously. What he's been able to do at the point guard position is absolutely, you can't even fathom the words. It's phenomenal, man. Yo, we thought Oscar was that man. And, Magic came along, and Magic is unbelievable. Seriously. But, to be able to accomplish everything that Russell Westbrook has been able to do, regardless of the criticism, regardless of what has been said, and honestly, some of the criticism has been warranted. Obviously, over the beginning part of his career in OKC, me being an OKC fan, I had to deal with, him jacking up shots, going 10 for 40 in different games. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? But to be able to see his maturation from, where he began to where he is now, 32 years old, got 3 kids, philanthropist, will do whatever for the community. But to be able to see his impact on the game still. When you talk about a dog, a guy that you want on your team, seriously, yo, ain't nobody that's going to go to war for you like Russell Westbrook. So congrats to my man Russell Westbrook for being now the all-time leader in NBA triple-dubs. All right, so talking about other impact players, since we are talking about probably the most impactful player in the NBA today, other than Steph Curry, no disrespect. But Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics is now down for the year with a wrist injury. He's going to have surgery. Boston has already been in a tumultuous situation all season long. These guys have totally underachieved on every level. When you got Jason Tatum, you have Marcus Smart, you have Kemba Walker. You think that, all right, they're going to put it all together. You bring in Evan Fournier at the trade deadline. You don't shore up the center position, which is pretty much your Achilles heel. Daniel Tice was doing his thing before they shipped him out to Chicago. You got Tristan Thompson in as well. You got Robert Williams. But really, he's more of a guy that you bring off the bench. And they struggled ever since. Defensively, this is not the same Celtics team like they were last season. Not at all. Not one bit. It seems like the offense is stagnant. And that's crazy to say under Brad Stevens. Seriously. They don't move the ball. Jason Tatum has become more of the quintessential vintage Carmelo Anthony. Where pound, 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 I'm looking for my shot, step back. All right, if I hit, I hit. If not, whatever. I'm still going to jack next time down. And to me, that's the reason why the Celtics are not as dangerous as they were last season. They've lost their mojo. And it's surprising to see that from a team that had someone cancerous like a Kyrie Irving. But somehow, a year removed, they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But then the next year following that, they're struggling to make it into the play-in tournament. This team has a lot of different holes right now, and it seems like they're really going to have to address them this all season. But it leads me to a conversation I had with my pop over, I think it was last Monday after the podcast. And he was like, listen, son, I feel like the Celtics are going to get rid of Jaylen Brown. I'm like, Pop, what you talking about? And he went on to talk about how Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker had very different careers after the Celtics got rid of Antoine Walker. And I began to think about that. And no, this is not downplaying Jaylen Brown, but it seems like the Celtics are going to prioritize Jason Tatum moving forward. Jason Tatum is the superstar. Jaylen Brown is right there, close to superstar status, but he's going to be your absolutely stud, all-star, right there. Seriously. To me, Jaylen Brown is that dog. Jason Tatum is trying to make it to that point where he is that dog. But why would you want to get rid of a guy that's already established as a dog? I don't understand. But Pop brings up a really good point where, you put all your eggs into Jason Tatum and his continued development, but you got a guy like Jaylen Brown that can really bring back a lot of assets if you're Boston, looking to try to retool and try to get to the NBA championship. It's something to think about. It's something to ponder this all season because the Celtics are definitely not making it far in the playoffs. Speaking of teams making it back to the playoffs, that's a good segue. We got to talk about the New York Knickerbockers. The New York Knickerbockers, they're back in the NBA playoffs, y'all. It's been 8 years. New York rejoice, but don't get your hopes up too soon now. I don't know. Tom Thibodeau, we talked about it last week. He's probably going to be in the running for Coach of the Year. I got a slight edge to Monty Williams right now, for the Phoenix Suns. But at the same time, listen, this Knicks team, they will win it ugly, and they don't care. They're going to get in your mug the whole time. They're the team that when you're playing on the court, you're playing street ball with your boys, they're going to be extra. They're going to be the team that is all in your face, really playing lockdown defense the entire time down the floor. That's the type of team New York is. Rugged and raw. I'm going to bring it to you real, just like that. Seriously, straight murder. It's murder. Straight Ja Rule out here in these streets, right? That's how these Knicks play. Julius Randle has found himself completely. He's talking about, I want to retire a Knick. This team makes you want to believe again. And when New York is good, the NBA is good, y'all. So, to me, I got some potential matchups that the Knicks could fall into. Right now, it looks like they're going to face Milwaukee right now in a 3-6 matchup. The playoffs start not this week, but next week, y'all. So, Giannis, Julius Randle going at it, back and forth. Who's going to be able to stop Chris Middleton? Who's going to be able to stop Drew Holiday? I'll be interested to see how RJ Barrett is able to play in his first playoff series. That's going to be interesting to me. You got a lot of young guys, haven't made it to the playoffs before. The Obi Toppins, the Emmanuel Quickleys of the world. We're going to see how New York is able to handle the pressure that comes with playing in the playoffs. But listen, moving forward, the Knicks are in good hands. They're in a good place. They just can't screw it up trying to mess up this young core, trying to go out and swing for the fences for a superstar free agent to bring to the Big Apple. Yo, let it build, let it grow organically, and I promise you, New York, you're going to be there for a good while with this particular squad right now as constructed. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, New York, all right? So, as we continue to proceed, I got to give you the Defensive Player of the Year top 5 list. Right now, I'm going to give you the top 5, okay? Number five. I got to give it to, right now, Miles Turner. Miles Turner is seen as